Today we're going to look at what is inside of a light bulb. Just a standard house light bulb like this. We're going to do this because I'm going to be leading into a project where we make our own light bulb from scratch, not simply putting a light bulb in something, but actually making the light bulb. So let's begin with that. The light bulb project is going to be inside of a wine bottle. It's going to have tungsten wire for a filament. It will use corks, some CO2 cartridge. If you haven't seen this before, this is actually a bicycle inflator. I have argon gas from a wine preservation kit that works with the CO2 filter or inflator. And silicon. This works up to about 200 degrees Celsius, so I'm confident it won't burn down. So let's break open this light bulb. I found hitting the side with the chisel repeatedly works pretty well. You just have to give it a few taps. Ideally, if you use a pipe cutter or something like that, that's better, but I don't have one that was big enough. And we're just breaking glass anyway, so we really don't need to worry too much. So out comes the part of the bulb that actually makes it a light bulb. So if you look inside of the glass here, you'll see this weird white powder coating. That's really what just makes it a frosted bulb. And so I really don't know what that's made of, but I'm sure it's not flammable. So you see the bulb just fits in there and away it goes. Now if you look closely against the back of my glove there, you'll see that that little spring is actually in two pieces. In a working light bulb, it's in one piece. And that's why bulbs stop working, is they basically break in half after they burn out in the middle. So let's take a look here at what goes into this bulb. That bulb itself, when I first hit it, likely released a bunch of argon gas. Argon gas is an inert gas which doesn't react with oxygen to burn things. So let's take a look at what is required to actually set fire to something. So if we just have a standard candle and we set it on fire, we're going to start a flame that burns oxygen in the air. As that oxygen burns, it takes the oxygen atom, binds it to the carbon atoms, and you have CO2. And the flame basically cannot survive in an environment where it cannot consume oxygen. So that flame becomes extinguished. Now, if we leave it open and exposed, we can light the candle. You can see that here. What I'm going to do is use that torch to burn off all of the oxygen inside of this open container. And that will surround the inside of the flame with CO2. And this extinguishes the flame. So inside of the light bulb there's argon gas, and that's what prevents the light bulb from combusting. So if you think about that, in outer space you don't need a bulb to create a light. You just have to have a piece of tungsten wire. This is a close-up of what the bulb looks like. If you look along the sides, you'll notice it has leads that extend into the glass standoff and then connect to the metal portion, and then eventually up to the spring LED or the spring wire at the top of the connection there. So just rip one of those off. You can see it's a very tiny little coil of very likely to be tungsten wire. To show you how this works, I've taken a piece of pencil lead, and this will work on the same principle. If you pass some voltage through a piece of pencil lead, it's going to burn. You're going to see some of that, but it's also going to light up as it gets super hot. The tungsten works on the same principle. The only thing is, inside of the argon chamber, you don't have the ability for it to smoke with the oxygen and create some things like that. So let's break inside of that glass standoff to see what's going on there. If you'll see here, we have some sort of insulation material inside of the Edison screw is the name of this. The insulation is likely to keep things from burning down, so as we build our own light bulb, we'll want to take that into consideration. So if you look here, you'll see there's two connections. The first connection is right in the center of the bulb. There's an insulation layer to separate things, and then the entire outer foil is actually a second connector. So let's break that up open. I'm just going to clamp it to smash things apart. You see the insulation, a little bit finer detail there. It almost looks like a porous sand or something like that. And inside of the tube you have a fine wire coming out of the side and the center. Here's the one on the side, and here's the one in the center. So if you think about this, when you plug in a light bulb, all you're really doing is passing some voltage up these leads into the central coil of tungsten, which gets super hot, and because it's in an argon chamber, doesn't ignite and flame, but simply emits a lot of light. So this is the basics of what we need to do when we make our light bulb. And that's really it for this video, and I hope you stick around and enjoy as I work on building another video for creating a light bulb on my own out of a wine bottle. Thanks for watching.